Alrighty, y'all, if you can hear me, we are in downtown Austin, Texas. Today is June 24th. The Roe versus Wade decision was just overturned this morning. This is downtown Austin. Folks are currently marching from Republic Square to the Texas State Capitol, a couple blocks from here. Well over 1,000 people, maybe more than that. There's heading from Republic Square all the way to the Congress building.
This is the Democrats' fault. They let this happen. We let this happen. I mean, look at the majority that Obama had in
2009.
his first. Yeah, nothing. The Republicans have been saying that they were going to do this for 50 years since Roe was passed.
Right.
They've been saying they were going to do this, and
they did it.
They did it, and they
Right.
did it, and they're not stopping there. This is just the beginning. This is just the start. So I blame the Democrats. Unfortunately, I'm voting blue, like I always have, but this is their fault. So yeah.
Today we had heard statements both from President Biden and Nancy Pelosi saying that the only way to fix this is to do it through Congress and that they don't have the votes right now. So everyone needs to go out and vote in November. What are your thoughts on our leaders just kind of essentially saying we just need to vote, and then they'll get to it? What are your thoughts on that?
Fuck Biden, fuck Nancy Pelosi. They don't give a shit about us. They have no understanding or concept of the reality that this is going to cause for many different marginalized individuals and identities. It's fucked. I mean, we've got a Democratic president, Senate, House. Where the fuck did that put us? I think the Trump presidency really had its nasty effects on us in the Supreme Court of the United States. And we're not able to vote for the Supreme Court of the United States, so what the fuck are we to do other than get out in the street?
So I would take it based on those statements. You definitely would be in support of overturning the filibuster, and at this point, obviously, I don't see it coming. Biden's not going to do anything about this, in my opinion. But if I were in his shoes, I'd be pressuring the hell out of Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, and saying, hey, look, I will personally make sure you never win an election again. I will make sure that millions of dollars are put into campaigns to primary you. But he's definitely not doing any of that.
Well, no, he's going to have so much fucking funding from this.
Right.
Oh, people want abortions, and I'll just send a couple of emails every week to all these people and say, give me $5 and I'll get you abortion back.
Right.
You could have gotten it back. You could have codified it, you did it. And now they have funding for years to come.
Right.
If they keep this up.
Right. Unfortunately, here in Texas is one of the strictest states for this. 30 days from now, abortions will be illegal in all cases with the exception of the risk of the mother's life. There's no exception for rape or incest, which is insane. I guess what are your thoughts on that, and what do you say to people who say, oh, well, you can travel out of state to go do this? What are your thoughts on that, and what do you say?
Well, obviously, I think it's ridiculous. I think that Republicans were fighting for no vaccines because that's their body, but then all women everywhere don't have those rights.
Absolutely.
And traveling, maybe I can travel out of state, whatever, but this is usually very disadvantaged communities that suffer from that. I worked in foster care. This is basically going to add 50,000 more unwanted babies in a year in Texas, which usually the Republicans are also against all the social support system. So it's just, there's zero reasoning around this. It's just about control, and I think religious control, because that's a very specific type of people and culture and religion that supports that. So
absolutely,
you just have to buckle up, and it's going to be a fight. I'm not going to.
Absolutely. You mentioned you work in foster care, so if you don't mind me asking a little bit about it, I mean, can you give us, we've got more of a national audience, can you give folks a little bit of a glimpse into what the foster care system is like in Texas? Are things overcrowded? Or is there enough funding there?
Yeah, it's totally over. I mean, I'm sure everywhere, but yeah, it's overcrowded. Kids sleep in, offices sometimes. There's not enough resources. There's a lot of volunteers that because the system doesn't have enough employees, social workers, and then it's completely overloaded. And like I said, this will add. There's 50,000 abortions a year in Texas. This will add 50,000 babies that were unwanted.
Right.
And it's gonna crumble. I mean, the system is not gonna be able to. This is people's lives. You know, if they're pro-life, these are kids and babies that are gonna be, you know, left alone, left to suffer, left to, you know, be without love and care and, you know, everything that most Republicans and privileged white people take for granted.
Right. So obviously you said you're out here with your mom. You're definitely younger. What do folks your age think about all this that's going on?
A lot, well, not a lot, but some of my friends say they don't have an opinion. Like they just like to stay out of it.
Right.
But that's basically just as bad as being pro. Like you have to speak up if you want change, and it's not enough to just stay neutral.
Right.
I also want to say that I think that like all these Supreme Court judges should feel like they basically spit on the faces of all the Supreme Court judges before them that upheld Roe versus Wade for years. So I would like to see, I don't know what's the rules about it, but like, I would like to see judges coming and saying, this is ridiculous. I mean, we can't run a country if every time, you know, we'll flip-flop on these things.
Right.
So.
And a lot of them in their hearings said, oh, we would never overturn Roe versus Wade. No one would be that crazy to overturn settled law. And here we are a year, 2 years, 3 years later.
The checks and balances doesn't look like it's working enough. I don't know what we can do, but this is not where America the free should be.
My aunt, who's 60 years old, MacArthur Scholar, World Health Organization leader. She fought for abortion, contraception all across the globe. She lived through the AIDS epidemic in the 80s in New York. She called me crying today, saying that she's gonna die soon and she's gonna leave this world worse off than she found it. And I said, I am not leaving this earth until things are better than they are now, and that is a fucking threat, and that is a fucking promise. So I can't let her work go undone.
Massive now march. That's the governor's mansion. That's the governor's mansion through the fence. We've got some more significant police presence here, and I believe on the other side of the house as well. I'll try to get around there to give folks a vantage. Folks are still marching. Not sure where we are going from here. We're gonna try to take the upper line here.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.